And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals here of the WardiTV Monday number 71. Again, your weekly dose of WardiTV Open StarCraft. Once again, this is a replay cast. This event did occur last Monday, and we're just catching up on the matches that we did miss out on. Again, there's a lot of catching up that we've had to do over the past couple of days, just because we've been very unavailable in January, and even here in February as well. So we're catching up with WardiTV Mondays. We're gonna have to catch up with Pegasus Cups, catch up with Thunderfire, and with Rongi Cup as well. A lot of catching up to do. We'll get there. Don't you worry. We will get there. But until then, we are now here in the grand finals. Unfortunately, we did not have the lower semifinals match. That was not covered, and we don't have those replays available to us, but they did occur. In the end, herO took down Shin 2-0. Now we have the grand finals. Going to be a best of 5 between herO and Classic. Let's go. Let us jump in. Again, these two, they've been facing off very, very often, very frequently in the finals of these big major events, in offline events and online events as well over the past month, and they just keep facing off. That trend continues here as well. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing Team Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. Here we go. We have our PvP, and again, because it's a PvP, we often do have a lot of aggression, a lot of high octane moments as well. Already herO setting up a wall here at the ramp. Important to take note of, just because herO has been very, very fond of going for the in-base wall off instead, going for the gateways and pylon near his gas geyser, but that is not the case here, not on Ruby Rock. I would imagine that the map does kind of influence this a little bit. The map itself is very small, very short rush distance by ground, so because of that, we're a little bit more susceptible to all-ins. So herO playing it safer is going to be walling up instead. It's going to be walling up, walling off. Meanwhile, we'll see how our players do deviate, as we do have our gates Cybercore open. Okay, never mind. So 2-gate opener out of Classic. Meanwhile, herO, are we going for the Cybercore? Yeah, herO cutting corners. He's crazy. He's going for a gate expand. Oh, he gets it. Oh my god, he's asking to be all in. This is illegal, papi. Gateway into Nexus before the Cybercore, before the second gateway. Hyper greed out of herO. And you can see he's chasing that probe, because we should be seeing an all in. And even if it sees it, a Classic, he should not be afraid. He shouldn't be afraid. We should be seeing a pylon. We should be seeing a robo. We should be seeing an all in coming his way. You can see here the Classic trying to get away from that probe. And again, we'll see how hard Classic does commit. There it is. There's the pylon. So again, proxy robo just in the face of herO. This might just be proxy gateway, but regardless, it's going to be a one-base all-in. And herO knows. Like, herO hasn't scouted, but herO, he knows that there's a very high chance that Classic commits. And it's going to be up to herO to defend. To survive. He shouldn't be able to. Like, again, like the build that we're going for from the side of herO is illegal. Like, it's it's illegal. It should not work. It should not happen. There are of course exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, a Classic should be able to punish. As here comes that robo again in the face of herO. It's in the face. herO, he's dragged over towards the right hand side. Does kill the probe. You can see here he's scouting. He's scouting for the proxy, looking for the pylon. He has yet to find it, though. Oh, yeah, he has yet to find it. He's so close. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Okay, he does confirm. But we already have a backup probe on the way for a backup pylon. Adept say distract. Second pylon can be thrown down. Yep, second and third. So again, this is to just ensure that the robo stays powered. Classic does ensure. Immortals on the way. Adepts say don't quite make it into the main. Ooh, and 2 Adepts are going to be going down. He does get only 1 probe. Yeah, not worth it for Classic. Oof. Gets 2 probes to 2 Adepts. A better trade for herO. His Stargate is on the way. This should be for Void Rays. And we'll see if herO can survive. He's got 1 battery so far. He's got his 1 battery. Gets a bit of hull damage on the Immortal. He's gonna get it! Oh my god! Yeah, the Immortal goes down. Massive pickup. That should not have happened. Classic here overextends. Papi. Oh no. The all-in is failing. It's failing. Classic's working on his prism, working on extra warpins. But again, losing that first immortal, that should not have happened. And herO, he's doing it. Oh. Gets a pylon. Pylon goes down. Turns back the army. The Voider has arrived, turning back the prism. Doesn't quite get a kill. That's a lot of hull damage on that war prism. And Classic, he's losing this position. He's losing control. And he commits. In the end, he does commit in. Ooh. Yeah, the prism gets thrown away. Barely survives, but cannot get close. If it does, it's just going to be targeted down. herO shuts down the army. Now going for the robo. The observer does pop out, just barely. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, it does not matter. As herO has control of the proxy. Remember, here he has a base. Remember, he has a Nexus. He has a Nexus. He's got the expansion. Fun fact, herO did not probe, he did not saturate, he's been hyper-fixated on warpins, on just non-stop stalker warpins. But even supply blocks Classic. The armies, they pass by each other. This is maybe the best chance that Classic has. He avoids the main fight, he cannot fight head-on. Does skirt around the edge. Pushing into the main, going for the proxy, going for the Archosis pylons. He's going for the pylons, going for the warpin. We're going for the base trade. Let's go. Again, this is maybe the best chance that Classic has. Boys are being pulled. There's still a battery helping out as well. Meanwhile, gateways are being depowered. There's still 2 gateways left up here for Classic. But GG gets scored. Yeah, GG gets scored. Classic does not have enough, and herO takes game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. herO, he does take a lead in the series again. A wild build, a crazy build here out of a herO, going for the very fast Nexus, going for the gate expand. Classic did the correct thing to punish, going for the one base all in, going for the proxy robo, but he lost the first immortal. He was just a little bit too aggressive, too cavalier. Losing that first immortal was game. That was game then and there. That should never have happened. GG. GG, well played. With that herO, he does survive, he does claim the win, and now we're loading into game number 2, and that is a rough game 1. That's a really rough game 1 to lose here. Hopefully Classic can shake it off and get into game 2 in a better mental state, but we'll see, because that is, again, a brutal game. That was a brutal game 1. As we're now loading into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss himself. Oh, representing Team Protoss Pro, it is a Classic. Here we go. As we are getting into our game 2. So, of course, in our best of 5. Now, I can't imagine that herO's going to do that again. No shot. No shot. I can't imagine that he'll be going for another faster expansion. And instead, we're getting into what we mentioned at the start of the series. herO, he's walling up and walling off and setting up in his main base, not at the ramp. This is something that herO's been very fond of. It is, again, a little bit more efficient. It's more efficient. It's a little bit more cost efficient just because it takes less time for your worker to go back to mining. So technically, herO does have a slight economic edge over Classic. That is true. So herO's slightly ahead. The downside, of course, is a lack of wall, a lack of SimCity. It does mean that your main base is open. Your main base is open. And Classic can try to abuse that. But now Classic does confirm it's going to be a 2-gate opener. The build itself is standard, it's just the placement that's off. And we'll see if Classic is tempted to go into Adepts. Is he tempted? I will say that very often herO, he kind of wants to feed you information and kind of relies on that as well. We saw that last game where herO, even though he went for a very greedy build, herO wasn't being greedy. He wasn't making probes, right? Because he knew he was being all in. He knew that there was a very, very high chance that an all in would be coming his way. So he chose not to saturate. He chose to fixate and focus on purely unit production. Here it's a little bit similar, where I'm sure he wants to try to bait out Adepts and wants to try to ideally punish. double Stalker. Double Stalker against double Adept. As you mentioned, there's a very high chance for Adepts from Classic, and herO knows that it's more likely than not that Adepts will be coming his way. Just because of hero's build. So here he's baiting out Adepts. The way this dynamic works is that Stalkers in a head-on fight will win. Like, they will kill the Adepts if they engage head-on. And that is hero's hope, I'm sure. As Adepts are moving out, it's going to be double Adept into double Sentry. Meanwhile, herO, he's going for his Robo on one base. Okay, herO, he's turning this into a one base all-in. Okay. The turns have tabled. Yep, throw a gateway. So yeah, one base all-in. We have confirmation, so it's one base all-in here by herO. Classic is still unaware. Does shade in, the shade will confirm. He doesn't check for the Nexus. Ooh, he does commit though. And now he confirms. Yeah, he confirms no base, no Nexus. You saw the rally. You saw him checking. Shield batteries now on the way. We need defensive immortals. There we go. Robo has been thrown down. And Classic is in danger. Classic, he is in danger here. As he will lose one Adept. Oof. Lose one. The other does shade away. And here he just pushes. Yeah, he's just moving out. Back at home, Classic, he doesn't really have that much to work with, but his shield batteries are finishing up. There comes the Warpman. He should be able to hold on for now, but it's about to follow up. The Prism is coming. Oh, Force Fields, they don't catch a Stalker. And misplaced Force Fields, one of that does shade in, can two shots, and does get one. Get one probe. The first immortal's halfway done. Classic, he needs a little bit more time for the immortal. With the help of the War Prism, herO, he can bypass this army and go straight into the main. Classic is aware of that. He's in position. Now, trying to push head on is going to be difficult just because there are so many sentries. The force fields will be brutal. So herO, where are we headed? Where are we headed? Oh, he commits. Okay, he just commits in. He gets 1, 2, 3. 3 sentries go down. They get 1 shot, and he just dives on the immortal, locks it down with the force fields. And one more volley, the immortal does fall. Ay, ay, ay. I didn't think that herO would be able to break through, but Classic had a late reaction. Late force fields, late reaction. And hero's done it. Yeah, here he has broken Classic. You can one-shot the Stalkers. There's 2 Stalkers left. Down to 1. Down to 0. 0 Stalkers remaining. Juggles against the boys. The force field locks down the immortal. There's the NG overcharge. Does help. It does help. Does buy a little bit more time. We have another shield battery finishing up as well. Still just so many losses. Too many. The juggling. Finally gets the immortal. We need another warp in. No. Yeah, the immortal just can't get away. He just cannot get away. The voids are being pulled, but they're stopped. They're stopped by the force field. The immortal goes down, and herO is going to extend his lead even further here. Going to take that 2-0 lead. Again, herO just baiting out Classic. GG gets called, and herO, he is now 1 game away from claiming the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Game 1, we saw hyper greed out of herO going for a gate expand. Here in game 2, we saw herO just commit, double down, and go into a 1-base all-in. And again, we saw late scouts, late realization from Classic. Classic opened up double adept, and Classic, he tried to get some economic harassing damage, which means he went for a later scout at the natural, later robo, later setup. And again, I assumed that Classic would be okay with all of his sentries, but he was late with his force fields. He had a late reaction, late force fields. In the end, Classic could not stop the army from just walking into his natural and committing. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO is now 1 game away. Classic, he has to fight back here and now to try to make a series out of this. Oh boy. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss, the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner here of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. Is he reflecting the last 2 games, 2v1 base wins, and then wins the opposite 2? No, it's very common to see 1 base all-ins in this matchup. It's very, very common. It's typically more surprising to see a macro game. It's very, very surprising to see macro games between herO and Classic. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it's more rarer to see players just slow down and build up into the mid game. PvP is often dictated in the early game. So here we go. But a lot of the last 2 games have been all about mind games. Just to re-emphasize, game 1, herO kind of baited the 1 base all-in, and herO was playing very, very safe and was very much so expecting the all-in. In game 2, herO he was also expecting a delayed scout, a delayed reaction, and was catching Classic off guard. So a lot of mind games. For now, we have mirrored builds. And if we were to get into a standard game and into a macro game, so far this is looking to be the most likely, as we have a 2-gate opener out of herO, 2-gate opener out of Classic. So for the first time this series, we have standard builds, standard setups, and we'll see if we open up a double Stalker, double Sentry, or double Adept, or Stalker Sentry, or Sentry Expands, or oh, looks like there was a bit of a timeout. Yeah, looks like we did lag out here, but the game was remade. It's all good. It's going to be double Stalker out of herO, double Adept out of Classic. Okay, so this is looking very, very similar to last game. Very similar. The goal for Classic is to shade past the army and to get across the map. The goal for herO is to catch the Adepts. But I will say is that, as opposed to last game, this time they don't really know what they're up against. Last game, herO had a really high... There was a very, very, very high likelihood that Classic would open up Adept. 1 base all in. Okay. Let's go. herO throws down the proxy pylon, and with that we can reinforce, we can set up a gateway, we can commit into an all-in. As I mentioned at the start of this game, it's very, very rare to get into a macro game in PvP. It's very, very rare. I say very... It's less likely to happen. Amongst the Korean Protosses. Amongst the European Protosses is a lot more common. EU PvP and EU, just European mirror matchups in general do often go into longer and later games. Applies to ZVZ, PvP, and TVT. Amongst the Koreans, they're a lot more aggressive. A lot more aggressive. Stalkers keep poking in. Classic, he does get into the main. Ooh, this should not have happened. Yeah, this should not have happened. Probes are going to be going down. herO, he's in danger. Yeah, herO bleeding out 5, 6. Can we get 7? He can. Oh, barely not. 6 probes go down. herO's economy has been crippled. At the same time across the map, herO he attempts to poke in, but he bleeds out a Stalker as well. And things are looking dire for herO. Bearing in mind that herO's all in, every probe counts. To have a crippled economy here means that he can't really afford to reinforce. Not the same way he would have liked to. Again, resources are that much more important here for herO, as he just has less to work with. So far, Classic is looking fine. Getting a second battery. Second battery, snipes the first Stalker. herO down to 5. Down to 4. It's getting quite close here, and herO looks like he finally gets 1 Stalker kill. Yeah, gets 2. With that, he does barely warp in. The boys are being pulled. It's getting close. It is getting close. Classic now has a second shield battery. You can see how low the Stalkers are for herO. Ooh, losing another 2. Oh my god. Losing another 2. Down to 3. 3 Stalkers left. There's a third battery on the way for Classic. Getting forced up the ramp. It's fine. His buildings, they can just tank some shots. The Immortal's on the way. Nice force field. Trades 1-to-1. Gets another Stalker and Classic holds. Yeah, Classic, he should be fine here. He holds, he defends. The Immortal is popping out. The Immortal should be it. That should be game. As herO has failed to break through. Fails to break the natural. Now herO, he whoops in the Adept. I was gonna say, yeah, GG. GG gets called. The all-in is failed, and Classic fights back. Classic puts a point on the board. Whew, GG. GG, well played. As we try to emphasize, it was a big moment when Classic got into the main, when he got 2 Adepts into the main base and he killed 6 probes. That was huge. It's huge just because, yes, herO's all in, and you could argue like, he doesn't really care about his economy. He does. He cares about his one base economy. Your economy is that much more important when you're all in because you have such a limited income, because you have no natural. You're not macroing, you're not getting to a longer game. So every worker, every probe is that much more important for the all-inning player. And to lose 6 that early on, that was brutal. That meant less warp-ins, less momentum, less reinforcements, less army. GG. GG, well played. So very strong start there for Classic, and the comeback has begun. Can we go all the way to the ace match? Let's go. Let us go. So we're going to be loading into game number 4. Level when the macro player wins. I mean, there's a very high chance that now it's Classic's turn to all in. Like, it's... it's very high chance, but let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, so we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss still leading the series 2-1, but again, we'll see if we can claim it here and now. For Team T1, it is herO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss, so Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic. Fighting back and putting a point on the board. Now again, Classic, he is renowned for his proxy robo. His proxy robo play, he's renowned for it. But I will say we might not see a proxy, but we could still see an all-in. Welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is a very small map in the map pool, has the shortest rush distance out of all maps in the current map pool as well, shorter than Tourmaline, shorter than Ruby Rock. So all-ins and aggression is favored on 10,000 feet, so we're expecting that out of our players. So far, Classic coming in with the probe scouts, and we'll see who proxies, if anyone. Oh, herO going for a fake pylon. Okay, cheeky moves out of herO. Again, we've seen an all-in every game so far. Classic all-in in game 1, herO all-in in game 2 and game 3, and herO, he does actually rotate towards left hand side, does pivot over, throws down the pylon. Now, this pylon placement is ideal for either a fake proxy pylon or a proxy Stargate. Or technically a proxy Twilight Council. But it shouldn't be a gateway and it shouldn't be a robo. The reasoning for this is because of the terrain. You can see this is behind the tumors, right? Behind the massive tumors here. Short rush distance by air, but long rush distance by ground. So the probe sticks around, we're leaning towards Stargate. We're leaning towards the Stargate. Meanwhile, Classic, he scouts, and Classic confirms that a pylon is missing. He knows that something is wrong, he knows that something is up, and he sends out a second probe. So already this is doing damage, right? Already we can see that Classic, he has a second worker scouting, whereas herO only has 1 worker on the map. And there it is, proxy Stargate. As you mentioned, based on location, Stargate does make the most sense. This is not an all-in, this is not hyper-aggressive, this is a macro build. This is designed to get some damage done and then expand. Meanwhile, Classic, ooh, he's being forced into an all-in. What do I mean by that? So Classic is going for a robo. He's going for a robo on one base. A robo like this is designed to hard counter an all-in. If herO was going for a proxy robo or proxy gateway, then Classic would be set up beautifully to shut it down. But because it's a Stargate, this is not an all-in. Classic is going to be stuck with a robo, he has to make use of it, and there's a very high chance that Classic is going to be forced into an all-in himself to make use of this robo. So things are about to get rowdy. They're about to get rowdy. Oh, he scouts. Okay, he does scout, does confirm the Stargate. He does get eyes on the Oracle. Shield batteries on the way. Classic, he shouldn't take damage. And here comes the Prism to counterattack. And we'll see if Classic throws down a third gateway. This is an early scout. It's a relatively early scout, so Classic has time to react. He has time to make decisions. Shows the gateway. Up. Ooh, pylon. Okay, just pylon for now. If he throws down a third gateway, that will confirm that he's going to go for the all-in. Remember, here is expanding. Remember, this was a macro build out of herO. Yep, there it is, third gateway. He's going for it. So the turns have tabled. This time it's Classic's turn to all-in, but remember, Classic is forced into an all-in. This was not the initial plan. This was not the initial plan. At the same time, herO is vulnerable because the Oracle has failed to do damage. Right, the Proxy Stargate wasn't worth it. So far, it has not been worth it. The pylon is getting low. That means he has no defensive Void Rays. As herO is being hunted down. Back at home, what do we have to defend? He can have a Stasis Trap, a Shield Battery. It's going to be a tough hold. Okay, 2 batteries are being thrown down. Meanwhile, Classic is up in Stalkers. He has that Force Field available, so does herO. Stasis goes off on 1 Stalker. Oh, Classic is expanding. Never mind. Classic does expand. Stasis goes off. Ooh, catching 2. Catching only 2, but this is a rough position for Classic. Remember, herO's base is already done, by the way. herO, he already has a natural. Classic, he has to get damage. Gets 1, gets 2 probes, denies mining. This is okay. But this is a rough decision here for Classic. He believes he cannot kill herO. I mean, herO, he does have his own defensive immortal. True, true. So Classic going to try to macro out of this, but Classic is going to be playing from behind. Stasis goes off. Now, how can Classic recover from here? I mean, he's going to have to be defensive, right? Just turtle up, be hyper defensive, kind of absorb these blows. And look to get into the mid game. We'll see if Classic can get there. herO, he can harass, that is true, but he's still only on the low gateway count. Only 2 gateways here for herO. Into a Twilight Council. He's taking up. So herO should be able to gain map control and then expand. And again, there's a very high chance that we actually get into a macro game now. We can slow the game down and actually get up to a 3-base economy. We're almost there. This Forge is also indicative of that. Forge leads into +1, so hero's investing into upgrades. You see herO checking gases, checking gateways, checking for the 3rd. herO is just ensuring that Classic doesn't all in. Even gets 1, gets 2, okay. Nicely done. Gets 2 more probes. I mean, herO, he was already ahead economically, and now he's just securing that, or just ensuring that. Ensuring that he stays ahead. And here we go, both players are expanding. Now, because both players are expanding, we already spoke about it earlier, but herO, he does have the economic lead. Likewise, herO has faster +1 because herO was already setting up for a longer game. Classic, his own Forge is just now finishing. So herO, he has upgrade timings available to him. Right, there's going to be a window in time where herO has the upgrade advantage over Classic. So herO, he still has the edge. Now, how would you recover in this game? There are some ways with Zealot Run-By, Zealot Counterattacks, War Prism Harass as well, Adept Harass. True, that's a little bit more accessible. It's just difficult because, specifically on 10,000 feet, your initial 3 and 4 base setup is really condensed. And what I mean by that is that your army can be parked here at the 3rd, and you're protecting the entrance to the natural. So trying to sit by with Adepts with a War Prism is very difficult. It's very, very difficult. The bases are very compact, they're very close together. defensive rotations are quite fast. It kind of leads into how small the map is. Okay, classic. Going for a full Stalker hit squad. Remember, he has Blink, he has high ground vision, he's going into the main. And full Stalkers will one-shot probes. Let's go. He gets in. It's going to go 1, 2, up to 3 probe kills. Up to 4. Ooh, 4, 5 probes going down. Okay, 4 probes, then recalls. Could have maybe got an extra worker, but doesn't lose anything, so very nice harass here by Classic. Classic is still down in workers, fun fact. Like, again, that's just how far behind he was, but nice move. Nice moves. Classic, he does stay on 3 gases. herO does take an extra gas geyser himself. Both players are taking a 4th base. Both players have 1-1. Or, sorry, I should say both players have +1. But Classic, he's out of position. Yeah, completely. The 4th base is going to be cancelled, and Classic has to make a choice. As he counters, like, oh, does take a massive stasis to the face. Stasis goes off. herO turns around, and Classic, he's going to be forced to fight. What's the plan? He pulls back. herO's lacking Zealots. Uh-oh. herO, this army is lacking. Yeah, Zealots, they collapse in, they get on top of the Immortals, every Immortal's going to go down, and herO, he will lose this fight. He will lose everything. Where were the charge lots? What the hell? Yeah, herO, he will lose the entire army. Again, herO, who was the first to engage, he canceled the 4th base, but the army is lacking here. I didn't quite notice myself, but herO, late charge, no Zealots, and you can see how brittle this army is, how vulnerable it is without any charge lots. And that's game. I mean, again, herO, he plummets in supply. The composition itself was lacking. As Classic, he will lose both Immortals. But again, the power of charge lots. Ay, ay, ay. If you're curious, it's very, very standard in PvP to go from Blink Stalker into Immortal into Zealots, into charge. Just because Zealots, they trade much more efficiently against Stalker Immortal, so you need those Zealots, and then eventually to counter the Zealots, what do you need? Archons, right? The Archons are the counter to the Zealots. So Classic just perfecting his army, and herO, he was just late. He was late for charge. He was late to research it. He had time to do so. He just never did. Didn't warp in Zealots. So herO, he just had the inferior army, despite having the better economy. By the way, like it's that's what's crazy. And we're looking to go to the ace match. We're looking to go all the way. Now herO has Zealots, but again it's late, and he has no Archons himself, so he has no counter to the charges of his opponents. That's Classic, he already has 3 Archons. Expansion goes down. Honestly, Classic could just A-move. He's giving herO time to make Archons, which is a little bit concerning. But they're isolated. Yeah, they're isolated anyway. Zealots, they collapse in. Yeah, they collapse in. They lock down the Immortals once again. These 3 Immortals will go down. GG gets called, and Classic, he ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense and very back and forth game here. Initially, herO was in a better position. herO, he faked an all-in. He kind of forced Classic into an all-in himself. herO, he was able to get away with a better economy with a higher probe counts, and that persisted throughout the entire game. But herO, he was late to research charge. Very, very late to research charge, and he moved out without any Zealots, and he got caught with his pants down. He was forced into a fight that he could not take. Again, he did have a lot to work with, but pure Stalker Immortal, it leaves much to be desired. As you mentioned, the more Zealot-heavy composition was superior there, and with that, Classic dominated that fight. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match. We're getting into game 5. It all ends here. It all ends on Tourmaline. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player representing Team Virtus Pro. It is a classic. Here we go. We are back, and we are loading into the ace match, game 5. And now what we haven't seen so far is proxy versus proxy, right? We haven't seen all in versus all in yet. We've been taking turns so far. Game 1 and game 4 is when classic was all in. Game 2 and game 3 is when herO was all inning. So here in game 5, what is it going to be? Now, to be fair, in the last game, classic did deviate away from that and did eventually expand, a much later expansion, but I mean, hey, he got into a macro game, true. He got there. But we'll see. As we are going for the ramp wall off, 2-gate opener out of herO. Classic doing the same. 2-gate openers all around. We have a slight difference when it comes to our building placements. Based on how classic is set up, he does have a safer gateway and a safer cyber core. Here, a second gateway is going to be more exposed. That's kind of like the main difference here. As classic does scout the second pylon. herO 0 scouting. Bold move. So here he does refuse to probe scouts. Meanwhile, classic does confirm that there's no proxy. So classic has some more information to work with. Meanwhile, herO technically has had the more efficient start as he's been mining more for longer. Just because the worker that classic had scouting, herO instead had mining. So here he does lock in the probe. Classic going to be forced to recall or we'll lose a worker. The depths are on the way. Yeah, probe is hunted down. And we have double adept versus double adept. We have herO going and committing into more adepts, actually. Okay. Third and fourth adept on the way. Building up into mass adepts. herO does shade past. Shades past, but there are stalkers getting in position. herO's not stopping, getting into 5 up to 6 adepts. Now, when you have a high enough adept count, you can actually commit to a shade and you can actually focus down the building. Basically, herO has seen weakness. He sees that, hey, your wall here is actually quite thin. It's actually a little bit more fragile. So he's just not stopping adept production. His goal is to break through. To break through that wall. Ooh, classic does notice. Yeah, big scout. Big scout, classic he does see. There are more adepts. Okay, we have 6 in total. Classic, there should be enough room for a gateway. Oh, as we commit to the shade. Oh, yeah, 2 adepts get into the main base, 4 adepts into the natural. Some probes are going down. You're getting up to 6, 7, 8 probe kills. This is some decent damage, but again, it was a big investment. This was 6 adepts. 9 probes go down, and here comes a counterattack. Now, was this worth it? Because again, herO, he has 4 stalkers to defend, 4 stalkers versus 5 stalkers, 2 adepts, and 3 sentries. Classic has a massive, massive army. Back at home, there's no shield battery, not yet. Nice initial engage out of herO. It's going to be forced back. We have the Dark Shrine on the way. Classic, he wants to try to lock this down. Gets 1 stalker. Trades. Yeah, trades 1-1. Boys are being pulled. The battery is now done, and here he's holding. Yeah, here he is holding on. Catching out the attempt. Back at home, 0 detection, by the way. There's no Stargate, there's no Robo. DTs can end the game, straight up. Like, it happens in a lot of matchups. It happens in PvP, it happens in PvT as well, where a Dark Templar can show up. There could be 0 detection that can end the game. Robo has just not begun. Thankfully, Classic is playing safe. Getting a Robo began even. And it's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. Remember, this map is very small, short rush distance. Dark Templar, they're waddling in. I appreciate that we have the 2 variations. We have the Scythe and we have the Blade. Let's go. The Robo is just now finishing. Classic, he sees, he knows. Observer's on the way. Does evacuate. Yeah, he evacuates the natural. DTs try to break through. Nice force field. Yeah, nice force field. The Observer has arrived and Classic will defend. And he doesn't really lose much at all. Losing, what, 1 probe? So nice defense here by Classic. Meanwhile, throughout all of this, hero's been expanding. Hero getting a 3rd base, getting his own Robo up. Blink is on the way as well. Hero, he's taking up in towards the mid game. Ooh, he fully walled off, so he does have some subpar mining as he's just oversaturated, just has too many probes in the main. When does he notice? Oh no. We have 9, 10 probes. 10 probes, they're stuck in the main, not doing anything. Oh no. I guess technically he could recall, I guess. When does he notice? As a result, Hero, he does not have the economic lead he would otherwise want. That's him moving in. Oh, gets the Observer. When does he notice? Getting it to 11 probes. Yeah, better CranKy for Classic. Trades 1-to-1. There we go. He notices. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. So many probes stuck in the main. So Hero's economic lead that he should have had, it's not quite there. In saying that, though, he still has a massive worker lead. 62-48. Classic blinks in. Bold move. Crazy. Yeah, he blinks forward into immortal range. Oh. Smacking the sentry. Triggers the shields. He wants that immortal. Thought this only happens in Silver League? No, no. What do you mean? Literally best Protoss player in the world, arguably the best player in the world. Yeah, happens to everyone. Happens to everyone. We have had games where pro Terran players, they accidentally lift their buildings, they accidentally lift their CCs, and so workers like SCVs, they just fly all over the place, like they just rally all over the map, trying to find a base to mine from. Like, things like that have happened before. So again, we are just building up into a longer mid game for base saturation. Now, when it comes to the army compositions, thankfully we do have... Wait, there you go. Thankfully this time charge is done. We have an equivalent amount of upgrades. Both players, they start 2-2. Charge, lots of Archons. Unlike last game, this time Hero actually has a pretty decently well-rounded army. Last game he had no Zealots, so he just toppled over. I would actually give the edge to Hero just because of his higher immortal count, thanks to his greater economic lead. It's up to 4 immortals. Immortals, their role is going to be to focus on the Archons of Classic, the Stalkers. If the Archons all go down, then here you can just reinforce with Mass Zealots. Just Mass Zealots. Some more Zealots are warping in. Classic setting up for a drop. Classic does find a pylon. Hero's moving in. Hero is supply blocked. Uh-oh. And he does find the Immortal. Yeah, the Immortal's on the front lines. The Immortal should go down instantly. Or should be the first to go down. The Immortal does fall. Zealots, they do flank Hero's army. And that's a lot of Stalkers left over. He's going for the Archons. Yeah, Hero needs more Zealots. He needs more charge lots. Zealots are trickling in. And Hero looks like he might barely have enough here. Trying to catch out the final Archons. Stalkers, they go for the dive. Nice control. Yeah, here he does blink back. Saves the Immortals. And here he has done it. He still has 3 Immortals left over. 3 Immortals left. But where are the Zealots? He needs more charge slots. Here they come. Again, delayed Zealots, but here he retains the high-tech army. He retains 3 Immortals, 1 Archon. And here it can keep pushing. You just keep on moving in. Oh! As Stalkers, they try to go for the Prism. Prism survives. Zealots are being cleaned up. And Classic just can't engage. Like, he just cannot engage with this. He tries to go for the Prism once again. He will get a snipe off. But it's going to cost him every Stalker. Yeah, every Stalker goes down. Classic, he's down to just a handful of Zealots. He has no army remaining. He's trading as best he can. But he just doesn't have the composition, didn't have the economy. Again, it was just a much stronger start for herO. GG gets called, and herO, he will take the series 3-2. And herO will be this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to herO. He will claim this series. Again, herO, he had a much stronger economic start to the game. If you remember, even though herO, he was heavily oversaturated, or he had like what, 15 probes stuck in the main base not doing anything. Despite that, he still actually had a massive worker lead, a massive economic lead. Once they got to mining, then herO could actually embrace that. Prior to that, the pressure was on Classic to find some damage. If you remember, he tried to counterattack after the Adept aggression. I would say that Classic did a decent job defending against the Adepts, but he wasn't able to do any counter damage, so he kind of fell behind. He was stuck at home defending against the DTs, and as he was defending, herO just took a third. herO took a third base, took a third expansion, and herO just snowballed out of control from there. GG, well played. Even though the Dark Templar didn't really kill anything, I think they killed 1 probe. It still just forced a big reaction, and it kept Classic pinned back at home. Kept him pinned. I feel like the best chance, the best option moving forward from there would have been for Classic to go for a 2-base all-in. Just go for a 2-base all-in, but instead he tried to macro, but he tried to macro from behind. GG. In a mirror matchup, you need something to go your way, otherwise you'll just perpetually stay behind, and with that translated into a smaller army. It translated into a lower quality army as well. He only had 1 Immortal, he had a low amount of Archons. It was very Zealot-centric for the side of Classic. Or very Gateway-centric. But GG, well played regardless. A really clutch back and forth here. Went all the way to the ace match. Congratulations to herO. But again, a shout to Classic, because Classic, he has been beating herO as of late as well. Remember, over the weekend, we casted the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, and Classic did bring herO down in KSL. Here, herO brings Classic down. They often do trade, they often do go back and forth. They are the top 2 Protoss players in the world for a reason. Both very different kinds of players, but again, they are the top 2. And we do expect to see more of them in the coming weeks and the coming months as well. Oh boy. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO. With that, we're going to be wrapping up for the time being. Oh, we can just catch up on the bracket itself. There we go. herO with a 3-2 as herO, he took down Shin and took down Solar to make it here. Remember, Clem went down earlier to Shin, and I believe MaxX went down to Showtime. I'll have to double check. WardiTV Monday number 71. Did he go down to Showtime or Nickeract? It was one of the two. One of the two. Just double checking. Oh, he went down to Cristiano. That's it. Cristiano. He was the one that knocked Max Packs out. Crazy, crazy. Este Cristiano. He toured Max Packs, then he toured Hearthstone, and then he went down in the PvZ. That's it. That's it. So shout out to Cristiano for knocking down Max Packs. Shout out to Shin for knocking down Clem. And then, of course, we even had Nickeract taking down Showtime. So some crazy upsets, some crazy results here in this week's tournament. And again, we should be coming back next week with WardiTV Monday number 72. Bearing in mind that it was delayed because of Home Story Cup, but should be coming back in the next couple of days. Meanwhile, when it comes to our schedule, bam, as you can see here, this is our current weekly schedule. We just wrapped up with the morning cast of the WardiTV Monday. Tomorrow, we should be live with Bigger Cup, and then we have Rongi Cup on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 days of Rongi Cup action. Currently we have Sunday off, but we might be able to slip a cast in on Sunday as well. I probably should cast something. I know that we still have to do Thunderfire. True. That might be a good day for Thunderfire. Otherwise, we still have to catch up on Home Story Cup. Right, Home Story Cup was over the weekend and I was unable to cover it. February is going to be very busy, right? RSL was scheduled and was already announced, so the RSL qualifiers will most likely be casting as well. So we have RSL qualifiers. We have the potential return of the Turtle Tussle, and again, we have to find some areas to kind of slide in those Home Story Cup casts. We'll get there. We'll get there. We will get there. The 75% of probes idle and doing illegal builds are the key to success. True. Oh no, Miguelito, baby. Gracias. Thank you so much for the raid. We appreciate the support. Unfortunately, we just wrapped up. We just finished, man. We just finished casting the WardiTV Monday. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast. Hope you had a great time. Miguelito, baby. Hopefully there was no crotch cam. Miguelito. Shaking my head. But thank you so much. Otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up for the day. Again, we should be back tomorrow with Picker Cup. Otherwise, you can support us via Patreon. ! Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. It funds the Tuna Cup. I do apologize. We've been very inconsistent when it comes to Tuna Cups as of late, but that's just because we've been very unavailable, right? There's been a lot going on IRL, and we just haven't been available to cast or to cover events over the past month. Hopefully that changes in the near future, but it's not looking likely, so we'll see. We'll see, Pat. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Exactly. Miguelito. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. You can also support us via all the socials. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis, so plenty of content on YouTube. Check us out there. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow for Picker Cups. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Pat. See you tomorrow. Papi.